Good evening. Welcome to the AGUA Special Utility District regular called meeting. It is December 15th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. Item number 1, call to order. A, roll call. Roel de Hoyos.
Present.
Gerardo Perez.
Here.
Ricardo Perez.
Here.
Ana Maria Perez.
Here.
Dr. Adriana Villarreal.
Here.
And Mr. Moreno is absent, and I am Jose Luis Ochoa Jr. Okay, moving on to B, invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge to make the best decisions for ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us today. In Jesus' name, amen.
I'd also like to take this time to send our condolences and our thoughts and prayers to Mr. Salinas. He lost his mother this morning.
He's dead. He's dead.
His dad, sorry, his dad.
Oh, dead.
Yeah. So our thoughts are out with him. C, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, there are no public comments. Moving on to item number 2, public hearing on the proposed 2026 operating and capital improvements budget. So, we're not doing that one?
What was that?
What are we doing with that one?
I don't think there was anybody that requested any hearing.
No.
We
Okay.
had budget for
No
3 days for
signups.
display.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect,
Okay.
moving on. Item number 3, presentation by Seven Seas Water Group on a public-private partnership on a groundwater.
So we make a public hearing meeting?
Yeah, real
Oh.
quick, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
We want to open the meeting, the public hearing. If there's no public comments or no one here to participate in the public hearing, then you have a motion to close it, vote, and then we'll move on.
Do I need any motion to open or just say it's open?
You don't have to have a motion to open.
You can set to
but we
open
will
and
need a
serve.
motion
Okay.
to close.
I would need a motion to close.
So,
Okay.
Open public hearing.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Perez.
everybody.
A second
So,
by
yeah, but for the record, it opened at six
Six
o'clock.
6 o'clock. All right,
Yeah.
and I have a second by Dr. Villarreal. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So hearing is closed. Do we have to give the time?
6:02.
6:02. All right, now moving on to item number 3, presentation by Seven Seas Water Group on a public-private partnership of a groundwater brackish desalination plant.
Sure, there's the mouse here.
See that one. Anytime that you, we're playing with the chairs.
Thank you so much for having us one more time. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to present again. Hopefully we have some great news for you. And my name is Rosana Ramirez. I'm the Business Development Director for Seven Seas in Texas. And I'm here with Casey Stinson. He's our project development leader for Texas as well, and otherwise that's our CCO. So quickly, guys, we're gonna go through the agenda, so we're gonna do a brief sentences-wide introduction, purpose of this presentation, and team introduction. We're gonna go through over the SLC proposition and cost breakdown. We're gonna talk a little bit about the project development plan that we have for AGUA, and at some similar projects and closing. So, a little bit of introduction to Seven Seas. We were founded in 1997 in the Caribbean, pretty much as a company to help bring fresh water to the Caribbean islands. As you may know that the Caribbean islands, the availability of water is difficult because they're islands. So Seven Seas was started as a company to do desalination in the islands. We are a leading provider of water in the Caribbean and in Texas. We own about 200 plants in Texas, between desalination plants and wastewater plants. We are owned by EQT. EQT is the second largest infrastructure firm in the world. And Seven Seas finances, develops, designs, maintains, operates and maintains the projects we work on. And Seven Seas, we are very proud of being the owners and the partners in the first PPP project in Texas, that's in the city of Dallas. So why is Seven Seas the best solution for AGUA? We have our service model is called water as a service. We are not interested in owning water rights and owning land. We are interested in treating your water. We developed this model through decades of experience. We have experienced operators, experienced business people. We are experts at wastewater treatment as well, at project execution, and the regulatory environment in Texas. We hire people that are experts in the areas that we need development. We, for example, have Casey, that he's our expert in regulatory issues, and that help us speed up how we develop our projects. We have the most competitive pricing, and we can do that because we integrate every facet of the project into Seven Seas. So we cut the middleman. We cut those extra layers that can bring extra cost to a project. We have immediate and affordable financing. We don't need to go outside of Seven Seas. We are a fully funded company. We don't need to go outside to get financing, and that brings costs down, and we pass the cost savings to our customers. We have highly trained operation engineers, and AGUA will immediately benefit from the network utility that we manage. So instead of being one plant, isolated, one entity that has your own facility, you will form part of a family of 22 plants, desalination plants in the Caribbean and in Texas, that can draw from the knowledge of each person that works on those plants. We have the industry highest plant availability. Right now it's at 98.7, I believe. That was the last numbers that I heard, meaning that our plants run 98.7%. That means 100% of the time, 100% pretty much. And we are the only water as a service provider with a plant that's in close proximity to the Rio Grande River.
Susanna, let me make one statement on the availability of financing. So the matter of fact is we have already our board, so that's EQT approved to make this investment on if it choose so we don't need to go through any kind of other financial approval process anymore.
In other words, funding is available.
With no recourse to us.
What do you mean?
If something goes bad, we're not responsible for it.
Correct. That's
Okay.
our risk.
Yeah, it's our
Thank
risk.
you.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So in other words, the funding is available.
Yes.
When and if when the project goes forward, the fund is already there. It's up to move forward as soon as you see it convenient. The commercial, going through the team real quick. Oliver is, like I said, our chief commercial officer. I work right under Oliver. I'm based in Corpus Christi. Casey, as our project development leader, he is in Austin. Steve Walden is one of our consultants, one of our expert consultants. He's also in Austin. On the engineer side, Mike Gibson, he's our senior VP. He's the lead of all the engineering design for Seven Seas. responsible for the efficient running of your plant. And Eric also, will be working with Mark. Anthony Driscoll, she's the lady that oversees everything IHS wise. She oversees that, and makes sure that all of our workers and every one of us work safely in Texas.
Yeah, just from an experience perspective, so most of these folks have 25 years or more in water.
We just look very young. This is the 7-6 proposal for from 7Cs. So, what we are here to present is a shared 3 MGD proposal for you guys on a 30-year term. The 7C scope will be the plant only, the operations, and the injection wells. We have, until now, and this is why we just determined, and with the information we have being provided, that for now, we need to go to injection wells. That's meaning the discharge from the plant needs to be injected into the ground. And the district scope will be the land, the test well, the supply wells, the product distribution system. The water tariff right now is between $535 and $565 for the completion of the project. Any questions here?
What do you mean the test well?
So the test well, and this is, basically, services will be managing that, but the information we have is that, AGUA has funds to do the test wells, to do actually the drilling of the wells. So when the test wells, one test well is done, we will be overseeing that, but the funding will be coming from AGUA. And that's information we have.
Yeah, but that test well, if something goes bad, it's on us, or I thought it would be on your, 7Cs, not us.
That, we can do that, that's something that we can, definitely talk about, but as of right now, the drilling of the production wells is on AGUA. And usually a production well starts as a test well, and is converted into a production well. But as right now, this is information that we have. If there's something different that we don't know, of course, we're more than open to discuss.
Let me say this, the idea and what we've done in other projects is you drill a test well that can be converted into a PWS well. So that way it's not a, no pun intended, it's not a sunk cost. It's a well that can actually be used as one of those supply wells.
But the well's gonna be yours, or who's that well gonna belong to?
So right now, the pricing that you see there in the scope split that you see there, it would be the test well and supply wells on the district. If you guys want to outsource the test well to us and just handle the supply wells, including the conversion of the test well to the supply wells, that's something we can talk about. That's something we can take within our scope. We're gonna oversee that part of the project. And the test well is gonna be that first step of the process anyway. So we can discuss that with you guys if you're more comfortable with us, taking that on. That's something we can look at. It's one of the reasons you have a range in that
Yeah.
water tariff, so we
I
can
was
talk
gonna,
about the scope.
that's one of the reasons why you have that range, because that's something that definitely we can take on our scope. The information we have right now is that our side has the funds to drill the production wells, but the test well definitely is something that we.
How much would that be?
My experience, I've just drilled a full-blown test well and a nearby monitoring well to get all the data that was necessary. It was around $700,000 was what we spent on those 2 wells, because you kind of need both of them.
It's 1,000 feet or 1,500?
No, so that was, those wells, the first one was at 1,500, the other one was at 1,000. It's in another area of Texas. The exact depth we're gonna do here may vary, but I would expect it to be within that ballpark. So that is something, like I said, we can take into our scope on that test well. It's the first step of the process. So
And then that test well, if it's successful, then it can be converted to a production well. It's not like we just do a little well, it's a full-size well that if successful can be converted to a production well. You don't lose any money, you don't waste any money with a smaller well.
What happens if first, we don't know, the well goes bad? I think I repeat my question. What happens to that at that point?
At that point, we would have to find another location.
Because we're not gonna be, if you invest all your equipment, whatever, It is, that well goes bad, it's not, you're not gonna be coming to us, hey, you owe me so much because that well didn't do good.
You mean from a tester perspective?
Yeah, well, I mean, for example, 3 years from now, everything's 4 years, 5 years, everything, then the well stops, either chemicals or whatever, you know, we don't know something happens.
From a maintenance perspective, it will take a while. Right, so that means from an operational perspective, that would be in our scope, right? So there was nothing, just, you know, the understanding that we had was given, and I think it was grants that we received, if, why wouldn't we use them to basically chip into the project scope, right? And, so that was the idea here, that's why it would take over essentially payment for the distribution or for the production wells, but not the management of it. So that is the only reason, by the way, this assumes, and Casey, maybe you should say something to that, this assumes that we have switched from our original proposal where we had surface water discharge, we switched to deep well injection. And the only reason, because our current knowledge is that based on the location pick that was discussed, Casey, between you and Roberto, was that there is no surface water discharge option.
That's why the gallon per price is a lot higher.
Exactly, and that's exactly the reason. So if that changes, so if there would be a ditch, right, then the price comes down. If we don't need, we are not stuck to drill injection wells, right, if there is a better and more economical solution. But obviously we had to, in order to give you a price, we had to pick.
Yeah, because those wells go about 5,000 feet, 6,000 at disposal.
Oh, now, what I'll say is, the way it's written up right now today, the injection wells, that would be fully on us. The ongoing maintenance of those, something goes wrong with that, that would be fully on us. The way it's currently split out, the supply wells, though you guys would fund it, that water would flow into our plant, and if uncontrollable events happen, there are protections within the contract on that.
So it's also production distribution system. What would the district be?
So what that actually entails is the distribution of that finished water. So-
Not the water itself.
Correct. So for example, in the city of Alice, we're delivering the
Yeah,
drinking
and then
water
we take-
into an existing clear well that they already have, and they're pumping it from there. It would be that. Either we deliver it into a storage tank you guys have, you pump it out into the distribution. Basically, the water goes through the meter and it becomes y'all's for the system, to be distributed. Now, does it go into an existing storage tank? Do you build a new storage tank there that we deliver it to? That is how you actually get it to your customers.
There's not, you guys don't do like, if we would supply the land and you guys would do the turnkey deal? Like, no test wells, we don't mess around with that. Do you guys?
Right,
Do
our
that?
understanding was that there was a possibility for AGUA to contribute money. That was our understanding. If that is not the case, and because obviously what we will do is, this would be just paying for it. We would still manage the work, right? It would be just paying for it in order to, let's call it, buy the rate down.
Because if we do the full scope, because of the change, because of the assumption we're making on the injection wells. Now, that assumption is based on conversation that Roberto and I had about 2 sites that you guys had identified and the lack of real viable surface water disposal options there. That's the reason we changed that assumption on the injection wells. Obviously, that has an impact on the price.
When you say injection well, process that for me again.
Yeah.
So basically that, and I mean, Casey is an expert, so basically we would have to take the discharge of the plant, that's about 20 to 25% of the plant's capacity, and inject it into the ground. It's all the concentrate water with salts. Inject it into the ground at 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet.
So you would have to
And we would have
drill to inject it.
Exactly.
So is there any abandoned wells in here that you can do that?
Yeah, potentially. That's one of the things, as the location location is finalized, if there are existing wells that are good enough size and to the target depth, that's something we can definitely use, if those exist. But again, right now, I have two speculative locations that you guys have been looking at. It's not to say that's the final location where this is gonna be. We have to use injection wells, and you guys know where there are abandoned injection wells. that
So
can be
TCQ, the Railroad Commission, none of that have any information?
No, they do, yes, the information exists out there, it's just a question of if that will coincide with where you guys want this cleaned.
Correct, and obviously you cannot say, okay, I would for sure use it.
Well, I guess it's twofold here. One is to figure out if the well is enough water to produce, and two, to have a place to inject it. So-
The ideal,
Also,
The byproduct of the water.
Yeah.
the wood or the gas well, let's call it that way, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be capable of taking that water, and before we make some analysis, we just plain don't know.
Sure, yeah.
So that's why we cannot say, okay, we reuse this or we reuse that. We give you
I-
rather a
I-
higher cost scenario, and then, hey,
No, I kind of follow, but
Yeah.
one thing that I was realizing now, that one is the drilling of the well, to get water out, and another is drilling to bring back.
yes,
Correct.
exactly.
Yep.
And again, is it our preferred method of disposal? No, but that's what we've been told, that is what's available. Now, if you guys know of another location where we can surface discharge, that's preferably. North Alamo, just close by here, they have a 10 MGD plant, they surface discharge into a ditch. So if we could go that route, this price would go down.
But y'all
they
assessment based on the
create
area, you don't have a,
No,
Why can't they
we
create
didn't
like a
assess. We were
retention
told
pond?
that in the two
no,
locations-
but in terms of the area here.
Based on the two locations that, Mr. Salinas and I discussed, he said that there wasn't a viable, surface discharge option in either of those locations.
it was essentially his assessment, right, not our assessment yet.
Okay.
Now, if you guys tell us definitively, this is absolutely where we want this plant, I can turn all the stones. But right now, I had two locations, and I was told there wasn't a viable option.
In short, what we need to know is where is this plant needs to be, for sure. So then we can start deep diving into, is this possibly a deep well injection or is it surface discharge? But we need to know the location. So right now we have another, and we went with the worst case scenario. Because we don't wanna come and tell you, no, this is gonna be this price, it's gonna be surface discharge, that's great. Worst case scenario, this is what it's gonna cost.
For the district additional costs, is that something that's still up in the air, or?
No, the district additional cost will be the district scope, that will be the as well as supply wells and the product distribution system.
That's kind of an extra cost there. It's just representative of there being something in the district scope, in this pricing.
Is there any estimated cost attributed to that box?
No, right now.
Not off the top of my head, but we could probably work something up on that.
But again, a lot of that would have would change with the location. The location, the test wells, and of course the distribution. How far from
So like in theory, if we find another location that has a discharge, and
That
let's say
price
at
will go
that
down.
moment, we hand over the test wells, everything to you, it might come out to about the same price.
Yeah, it absolutely could say the injection wells went away, and we took everything back under our full scope as feasible.
Or reduce it to 15 years, you guys did the 15 years in Alice, or
And now this is 22.
22.
That's where
22
we
years?
ended up, yeah. And then STWA signed a 30 years.
And 30 years typically, because afterwards the value of money is not anymore, right? 30 years is typically the lowest cost that we see.
And also, just kind of like a ballpark, how far down the line could we say once everything, we don't say it's good to go, what's like your turnaround time?
Once we are, everything's finalized on this pen to paper, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Generally, we say about 28 months, give or take, to first water. Depends on the customer's need. If there's an instance where the customer may want a little more time, that's
Yeah.
something
And that price would hold till the, you know, the starting date. Correct.
Correct,
Yeah.
the price gets essentially fixed once the contract is signed,
Okay.
right? But don't forget the CPI index,
Yeah.
right, so that will come on top, but that price will be fixed once the contract is signed, so essentially you know, I mean, if we would assume, and again, I think we said that last time already, that the CPI over the last 20 years in the US was 1.8%, you know, if you assume that continues like that, you know essentially the price for the next 30 years.
Okay.
But it can be, one NGD. We decided, okay, we only need one in that area.
I believe also that's the other question, like, we could ramp up to 3, correct?
You could, it does have an impact on the pricing,
Okay.
right? Because everything is based on how much water we're actually producing. What you'll see is there are some economies of scale in the plant itself, things like that. You'll need at least an injection well, regardless of if you're producing one.
One or three.
So that's where you'll really see the bigger price change. But there is always the option for the ramp up. I will say it will have a definite impact on the pricing. So the 3 MGD coming out, or, you know, a 2 ramping up to 3 fairly quickly may have less of an impact. But yeah, if you started at a 1, it would have quite an impact.
Yeah.
It's a quick question as well.
Yes.
From the board's perspective, the 3 MGD is the minimum or the maximum?
That would be the minimum for this model.
And the question is, I mean, if the district does not need, or if the volume fluctuates from month to month, is the 3 million paid? Or only what's used, I guess?
So, what would be signed is what's called a minimum volume
Oh, 3
commitment,
million.
where it says, if we can produce 3 million, you will purchase 3 million, at least. You could go higher if you wanted, but the expectation would be this would become a base load of 3 million gallons a day.
So that changes the volume on your current plant, because that one goes first.
Okay.
Personal.
Yeah. Okay.
Just wondering.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
And how many MGGs were you having through Iowa right now, do you know?
I think y'all have like, or I guess we have like, 8, or, up to 13, I think.
13,
but
we're
our,
using 8.
What we use
we're
about
using about 8, yeah.
You're producing, sorry, question, I guess, are you producing about 8, like you need 13, or?
I think we're rated for a little bit higher, but we're only needing to produce, you know, remember 8 or 9, something like that.
Okay.
So we're rated for more, but at certain percent capacity, we're trying to make sure that we expand.
So what I was gonna say is generally what you'll wanna see with any membrane plant, but, you know, these in particular, you want them up and running at a steady state. You don't want those to kind of fluctuate with your, peaks and valleys of demand. You generally wanna handle that with your surface water treatment plant. That's what City of Dallas does, where, our plants provide the base load, and then they hit the peaks and valleys with their surface water treatment plant. And they actually have gotten to where they only have to run one of their 3, treatment trains on their surface water treatment plant, to meet that, peak and valley.
So if it's 8, we'll use 3, and we'll just use the 5, that's to complete the 8.
Like the 3 would be
Yeah.
consistent, like constant.
The
Priority.
first lot is
The 3, luego ya, whatever we need, but we'll
Yeah.
do like the other plans.
To make sure you get.
Also,
said
I mean,
three.
a quick question, and maybe, Sam, for example, let's say where we put this plant, it doesn't necessarily have to go to a treatment plant, we can route it,
Direct.
let's say we make it like on the north side of the,
This is fully, this is gonna be drinking water.
Right.
okay,
Our own.
They're gonna tap the ground and they're gonna deliver the water to a tank.
okay,
And you're gonna connect that tank to a high pressure, pump, and it's gonna go into your pipe system.
okay,
So anywhere you put it, all we need is a reservoir to receive the water, and then a high pressure pump to pump it out.
Correct.
okay.
So it's
So you get
basically
it?
soft water.
Yeah, you get it at the tank.
Yeah, it's,
Our own.
it's that one.
Yeah.
Our
It-
quality water.
It is remineralized though, so it can, play well with the water that's in your pipes. But one of the reasons that we deliver it into that reservoir is it gives you an opportunity to blend the water before it goes out to the distribution system.
Brought that all to my house.
And don't mix it
No, yeah. We have it. So when we add salt to our water, we have a pipe that goes to the discharge. We kind of dug it in because it was killing our grass. Kind of dug it in underneath to go ahead and, like, I guess, all that salty water going to the dirt.
Yeah, so again, going to, what's your name? Sorry? Sam, what Sam was saying, you know, in going to what we were trying to show is that location is key. Where this plant is gonna be located and how we can, perhaps save some money by not doing, injection wells will be also key. So like I said, that would be something that we have to investigate, we have to evaluate because, North Alamo is surface water discharging. That means that it can be done around here. So we just need to find
Some sort of retention pond or something.
So with that injection well, kind of makes it seem like we can pretty much place it anywhere in our district.
That's okay.
That is the flexibility that gives you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be near that discharge location. You can put it where you guys need it. Obviously, it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
How much more or how much less will it be if we came up with some sort of solution to discharge?
Service water discharge?
Yeah, say we took injection wells totally off.
It's, let's say it's between 70 and 75 cents of the total is the injection wells.
So we'll be in line what we're paying right now.
So it would be then 480.
For,
Something like that. 465 to 495.
okay. And that 30 years will be reduced.
No, that will still be at the.
It's fixed.
Assuming that price reduction would still be assuming 3 million at 30 years. All of this pricing is based around that, call it a 30-year mortgage in a 3 MGD house.
Now, idea, if instead of a 3 MGD, it could be a 5 MGD, you use your other surface treatment plants to produce those other three fluctuating, that price will also change. It could come down also. And that would be a balance in that. What is that you want to balance? Source of water? So this is something to think about.
And this, by no means is this the only offering we can make for you guys. This just all of the assumptions we had to make to get you guys
Yeah.
this price.
Yeah.
What was it? Where is? I know you were building somewhere in Texas. Where is that?
In
again?
Alice.
I know Alice, but the second one.
Subject
Alice
is
is
one
done
of
and producing, right?
Yes.
And now we are building in Kingsville.
Kingsville.
Or,
Yeah, the system itself is in Kingsville, South Texas water authority.
And this is just to give you an idea of what would be in, that we would say, 7C scope and our scope. This is again assumptions that we made to be able to give you the price. So, like Casey was saying, we would manage still how the supply will be built and put together. The actual funds will come from our side. The same as the test well, that also could be or will be made into a production well. And the product distribution, that will be your tank or your cistern, whatever facility you have. The process plant, that will be of course the scope of 7Cs and the injection wells. Just to give you an idea. What's included and what's not included in the tariff, just to give you, I know that we don't like the word tariff, but, it's nice to put it in there.
No, we don't.
So, including the tariff of course is the financing, the hydrological studies, the treatment facilities, the permitting, the ongoing operations and maintenance, the chemicals, the SCADA system, the staffing, of course we'll hire local, keep people local, the replacement parts, the inventory management, everything that the plant needs will be managed, by 7Cs. Technology updates, we make sure that our plants are the cutting edge of technology, like Alice, for example, right now, in injection wells. What will be excluded from the water rate will be the electricity, the test wells, the supply wells, the land acquisition, and the distribution system integration. That will be part of what, AGUA has to do.
test wells, how deep is that, and the supply well, how deep is that?
So that's gonna be dictated by two things. Location, wherever it is, because the depth of the aquifer changes, the quality changes, obviously. But that'll be dictated by the hydrogeologic study that we perform based on the location that's identified. So once we fund that, we will know that the target water quality is between 800 and 1,000, whatever the
There's a
depth is.
slide, there's a
Yeah,
slide
yeah,
that talks
it'll
about
get
that.
a little more into the aquifers, but the exact depth, it'll depend. As you go further west, shallower, as you go further east.
Just another quick question. Once you drill and you find out the quality of the water that you have, I mean, we do have good drinking water in some locations. Will the quality of the water that we find also change the chemical and your processing of it?
So generally not. What we're gonna do is we're gonna base our pricing, based on examples of the water quality we've seen in the area. And we're making certain assumptions
Yeah.
that the, salinity will be above what people can use. We're intentionally targeting that water that no one else can and will use.
Yeah, so we're not going, in other words, we're not going after fresh water.
Okay.
So if we're going to the brackish aquifer that nobody else is using.
We will assume, mid-level TDS, I would assume 3,000 to 8,000 TDS. We assume there will be radio compliance. Again, we assume realistically what's going to be in the source water. And that's all treatable using reverse osmosis.
So, we kinda, through the middle of the first phase, so, our sentences are selected after the RFP process. Then, we go into the contract execution, doing what we're doing now, presenting and, going over our findings. We have drafted a WSA, that can be executed in about 30 days. Then we jump right into the development phase. We do the property assessments, we'll finalize the proposed plan location to consider well and distribution system, that's what kind of stays at the top of the list. Then, we jump right into the well study to confirm the quantity and quality, that what Sam was saying about, the quality of the water. Then we go through all the regulatory approvals. Kind of going backwards a little bit, start with this part, kind of right away. Because this is what takes the longest, the regulatory approval. The financing, the construction, all of that, it's actually the shorter, part of the project. The actual regulatory approvals is what takes the longest. Then we go to the design modifications and confirmation. After we drill, after the test well is drilled, and we have the quality of the water, and then we can, finish the design of the plant. And we go immediately into the execution phase. We go right into permitting. When we started here, we go right into the permitting, phase. We started procurement and mobilization. This part happens pretty fast. The plant in Alice was built in about 6 months. So, everything is ready to go and it gets shipped to start construction. And we go into construction installation. We hire local teams to do this, to do the pretty much the pouring of the concrete, the building of the building and plumbing and all that kind of stuff. And then we will jump right into startup and commissioning. Any questions here?
In Alice, you built the plant in 6 months, but it wasn't operational till when?
It was in operation until end of March 2024. And the reason was, I don't wanna, the reason was because, Alice went with TWE money to drill the production wells, and that took a little bit longer than expected.
So how long was that?
How long was
From
that?
2024 to what?
To 2020,
When-
March 2025. So it took about a year for the production wells in Alice,
For one production well.
for one production well.
They're still working to finalize the second production well because the city is, using TWD money to drill and build those wells. The second well is finished drilling. We're waiting for the pump to be installed and for that well to be, permanent there.
This is, for example, that's why we suggest
and you don't have a pump for that, that's a year that you're just waiting there and the city is not making the water that they need, that they could be charging also. So it's, that management part, it becomes very, very important.
Should we jump in on this one?
Yes.
Right, so this is kind of what we were talking about before, how the exact depth of aquifers, are determined by where you're actually building the plant. So you'll see on here, based on some of the nearby brackish wells, most of the ones we looked at were slightly north and slightly east of here. But what we found was 1,000 to 1,500 feet is kind of our going in assumption. That'll be firmed up with the hydrogeo study. But as you can see, the top slide there, you see the different thicknesses between in and off. Yeah, my Vanna White style. The in to in off there, you can see how it changes. Kind of the same as you get south. Same layers exist, but they're thinner. So I mean, even within the same aquifer, within the same layer, the exact depth is going to vary. What we'll see though is in the borehole that we make, we will bore down to the maximum depth we need. You pull it out, you do the geologging on it, and say we only need to screen this portion of the well, as opposed to screening the entire amount. But that's something that's trued up as part of the test well process. It's actually the initial boring that they do.
So for 3 MGDs, how many wells would you need at 1,000 to 1,500 deep?
Do you remember how many we assumed in those?
We have assumed in this, it's probably between 4 and 5, right? But again, this is highly dependent on what the transfer facility and what the test.
4 or 5 wells at 1,500 feet.
Yeah, because we have seen well production between 500,000 gallons per day and 2 million gallons per day. Obviously, you can imagine that that means significant price difference. If it's 2 million gallons, here we have been on the more conservative side.
Yeah, but we're looking at 3 MGDs per day, is basically what I kind of gathered, correct?
Correct.
So the wells that AGUA has already,
We drill to obtain the 4 MGD that we need to make 4.2, that we need to make the 3.
Yeah.
But will that take 5 wells or will that take 2 wells?
yeah, but the wells that AGUA already has, I mean, if they don't produce that amount, they're irrelevant. You still need to do your wells, correct?
Right.
Because the wells that you already have are not brackish, are they brackish?
I don't know, I don't know. I mean,
No.
no, I'm sure.
300 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah, so those are gonna be freshwater wells.
Yeah. No, this,
because that's the wells you were talking about, right?
yes. The thing is, this needs to be brackish. One of the things is much deeper
The volume, a lot of more.
and a lot
Sure,
of
sure.
volume.
But what I understood the wells that AGUA had, so they're irrelevant anyway, because they're not as deep as you'll need anyway, correct?
So you have to build.
I mean, I didn't know there was water wells. I only heard about it not too long ago, but I didn't. So those water wells they already have, they're irrelevant to this because you still need 1,000 feet to go.
Yes,
Yep.
and I don't know how much volume they produce.
Yeah.
Are they able to produce $2 million a day, each one of those?
What I'll say is this, though, I mean, if, I don't know exactly where they're laid out, right? But say there was one near, where we, finalized putting the plant, it's not to say that that water could not be used and blended with some of the brackish water, especially if it needs treatment, if there's quality issues. I don't know if you guys have radionuclide, issues out of those wells at all, but, if there was anything that needed treatment in that, we could easily blend that with the brackish water to help increase the volume that's coming into the plant, maybe without additional wells. So this is very much a, let's see what you guys have, where we can put it, and how we can maximize those savings for the district.
So in other words, we keep going to the very worst scenario. We'll go. So this is, one of the locations that we have discussed. This was in the very beginning. Again, in an area of growth, we know that you guys have explosive growth in this area, so that would be the ideal. An area of low pressure, so we can go straight into the pipeline. Near sizable distribution lines, so if we can put it near one of your mains, that would be great. we have flexibility to identify the location, based on discussions with the district. And we'll deliver water where it's needed.
So whenever Mr. Salinas and I were speaking, there was one location on the northwest, one on the northeast that we had been talking about. I think you guys maybe had explored doing future plans.
How far can you put the line and the discharge? How far can you go? A mile, 2 miles?
I would say once you get up to more than a couple of miles to the discharge, you may not be saving a lot of money with injection wells. But it very much depends on what sort of line laying it is and how far exactly you
And
can
that
go.
also depends on what's there, right? If this is a residential area, then probably would make sense, if this is just rural
But it's a sliding scale.
dirt roads, then
Yeah.
Yeah, but, just go along the canal where the district, gets water, that lake, he gets water from the river. And there's a canal, next to it, a drain, a ditch.
Well, what we wouldn't wanna do though is, we wouldn't wanna put in the discharge from the plant into something that you guys are using as a source of water, because over time it would increase that salinity if what's currently in the lake is fresh water, right? Because what we're pulling out of the ground is not fresh water.
Yeah, no, they go directly to the river, or can we do that? TCQ, can they allow that?
Potentially, yeah, it's very much, again, site specific. One ditch, they may regulate at a certain level, another one, they regulate at a different level. So that's, again, we need to hone in that location, and then it would be conversation with TCQ about what the allowable, levels are that you discharge.
Okay.
But again, that would be ideal.
Like old caliche pit, would that be considered like above ground? From una calichera?
That's just a caliche, that's always over there.
They're big.
Yeah, you're talking more of a, like
Like
an
a- like,
evaporation pond
yeah.
style. We would need to do the math on what the acreage would need to be, for, the problem is with a plant like ours, it's running constantly, and that flow of wastewater is going constantly, so you have to make sure you have at least enough evaporation, to break even, or else you need infinite
Yeah.
evaporation pond. And I haven't done the calculations on that. Generally, it takes a lot of land, but if you guys have something like that, we can look at it and do some calculations and see. And maybe it's a joint, maybe it's one injection well and that. Again, we customize to meet what you guys need, what works best for you.
So a little bit on the reverse osmosis for drinking water. So we know it's been around for a long time, so it's a reliable technology and solution for actually the global water scarcity issues that we face. The technology has been around for more than 46 years, and Seven Seas has been doing it for 27. Our process experts literally wrote several books on desalination, so that's actually a little statement. We are experts in process engineering, project delivery, and plant operations. So we start with a brackish well, then it goes through filtration before the actual reverse osmosis plant. Post-treatment, that usually just entails that we remineralize in the water and go through distribution.
We'll remineralize, and then I assume you guys use chloraminate your water. I believe that's my recollection, but either way, we will use a disinfectant that matches what you guys are using in your system, either free chlorine or chloramines.
A little bit on that more than what Seven Seas brings to the table. So of course we have extensive in-house expertise in all the disciplines that take to build these plants. We have expertise in subcontracting non-core disciplines, for example, architectural, civil engineering, geotech, others. And we have extensive experience in operations and manufacturing. We use standardized, modular, and repeatable designs. And like I mentioned to you guys before, we're not gonna go and tell you we're gonna build a custom plant, because that usually custom means expensive. And sometimes it's not even proven. We're gonna take a design that is proven, that we know is working, and one of the islands in the Caribbean, for example, we pull it out, we modify it for this location, and that's what we're gonna build.
Very importantly, that means we have spare parts for it too.
Yes, very important, yes. Supply chain, we are vendor agnostic. We are not married to to one vendor. That means that we can go and fight pricing with our vendors, and that's why, one of the reasons we can keep our prices down. We are not married to one, special vendor or delivery process. We competitive bid, all of the items and things that we need for our plants. We have integrated our legal and execution team, so we move quickly in our contract. We have also operations and system designs that are consistently and continually improved. One of the things that, I don't know if you guys, since March, that happened since March analysis, is that we have integrated an AI software program to Alice that's helping us predict and prevent things that could happen with the plant. So pretty much the AI system is continually evaluating what's going on in the plant and pretty much giving us prompts on what needs to be done or not to the plant to improve its efficiency. So Alice is one of two pilot plants that are running with the AI system, and so far the guys at the plant are loving it because it's giving it information that otherwise would have not been possible to obtain to actually run the plant more efficiently.
What is the price that Alice is paying?
Alice
Per
is
thousand.
paying, that contract was signed in 2020, right, right during COVID.
Mhm.
They paid for their own wells, and the price they're paying right now is $2.40.
Yeah, $2.45.
$2.45.
So they service for discharge,
Mhm.
and they pay for their own wells.
Yeah,
They,
and that's.
they
that
pay for
contract
the
was-
discharge, so they got a well there?
No, there's a surface discharge.
Oh.
Surface discharge, and it was signed in 2020. It was signed in
Different.
2020. Yeah. But considering everything that has happened in the world, I think this was very, very competitive. The operations team is the primary customers for 7C's engineering, so our engineering and operations department work together seamlessly. And the project management team, Casey and all the guys that work to get the projects together, they've been doing this over and over and over again to deliver these projects. So they have worked in improving how we deliver the projects year over year over year. So sometimes people ask me, well, how do you guys know that, how can you guys fix the price at the beginning of the contract and just that price stays fixed from the next 30 years? Well, because we've been doing it for almost 30 years. So basically, we can predict how much our plans are going to cost to run, how much what we need to invest to keep those plans running because we've been doing it for so long.
They sell bonds, at that time probably the rate was a lot lower too, right? It affected,
In Alice?
yeah.
Yeah.
The rate
was
of
another-
money was cheap,
Cost of construction itself.
yeah, too.
Yeah.
Pretty tremendous.
It was another,
Crazy,
it was another
yeah.
world.
Even though we don't see the rate, but that number, they base it on
I mean,
bonds or
just to give you
whatever.
an example, just to see, how the price increase was, we offered Corpus Christi for a 50 MGD supply, the price was like $4.20. Now they are
That's 20.
talking between 12 and 15. Just to,
Sure, yeah, things change.
yeah.
So we have safe and experienced operation and management team that focus on safety and compliance, a proactive EHS program, a strict adherence to global health and safety standards, and consistent reporting. We have US-based operations. We are a US-based company. We're headquartered in Tampa and also in Houston. We have professionals hired locally when possible, as we're growing our team in Texas. And we have support from other excellencies operations in addition to the on-site stuff. Something very important that a lot of people don't realize, you go to Alice and you see 3 guys running the plant. There's a whole team of engineers and operations experts in the background monitoring if, we had a customer go, to Alice last week, and we were looking through this land, and they said, well, what happens on the weekends? What happens, something happens on the weekends? Because our operators go home on the weekends. They clock out on Fridays and come back on Mondays. The plant is being monitored 24/7 regardless. They have, they can see the plant online on their phones, they get alarms, and they can be at the plant in less than 30 minutes if something happens. So we hire local, and we stay local. Like I said, we have 24/7, monitoring. We have a field service network. We send our operators to train, in, the islands before they start the plant. And we standardize safeguards, inventory, and redundancies in our plant. The plant in Alice is actually, the capacity, the installed capacity is actually 4 MGD, although they just need 2.723 on a daily basis. If something happens, that extra MGD kicks in to supplant, the need. Okay. I was actually sitting with the, Alice mayor at an event, so we were at this round table. And I get a text message from Mark, our operations manager, and said, hey, did you know our RO pump went out last week? And I was like, I was sitting right next to the mayor, and I was like, he had to tell me this now. And he said yes, and I said, no, I did not know. And he said yes, but we got it fixed in less than a day, in less than 24 hours, he said. And that was a $150,000 pump. So I took the opportunity to tell the mayor about, they're looking like heroes right now. They're the only city in the Corpus Christi region that is not under water restrictions. They are able to water their lawn. I live in Portland, right north of Corpus. I can't water my lawn. I can't fill it full of eggs. They can water the lawns, they can wash their cars, they can sprinkle, use the sprinkle systems, anything. So I turned to the mayor and told her, Mayor, did you know that one of the RO pumps went out last week? And she went, for a split second, she went like, no. And then she realized. She said, no, but you guys took care of it, right? And I was like, yes, we didn't take care of it. And that's why you didn't know about it, because the plant continued running like always. What would have been if she had to invest $150,000 from her budget, from the city, to fix that pump? And would she have had a pump in 24 hours sitting there to replace? Like all I was saying, some of these pumps take 12 months. So if the pump would have been out, it would have taken her 12 months to replace the pump. So that's part of what we offer. That's part of the guarantee that no matter what, you're gonna have water running.
And Seven Seas Pitch does $150,000 for the motor.
Correct, it's all.
And we
it's
have
all
two.
included prices.
We have two sitting down at the plant, just in case.
But yeah, all of that is within the rate. That is within the maintenance, no price change, there's no spike in pricing. The flow of water is unchanged and the cost is unchanged for the customer.
So we didn't turn around and, I was sitting with the mayor, I didn't tell her, hey, mayor, I need $150,000 more from you this month. No, that's including the rate. That's our guarantee that we're gonna deliver quantity and quality per contract for a fixed price. So, yeah, it was a good story. I mean, I could see it in her face, and like I said, she looks like a hero right now.
And that contractor, she's your customer, what is it, the city of Corpus? Or
No, that's
the
with the city of Alice.
City of Alice, same. Oh, okay.
Yes, city of Alice. But we want an event in Corpus.
Corpus, okay.
So examples of similar projects, like the ones for AGUA, the City of Alice, of course, is about 3 MGD. St. Croix and the U.S. Virgin Islands is about 3.7 MGD. St. Thomas, and those are seawater desalination plants. St. Thomas, also in the U.S. Virgin Islands, for 3.3 MGDs. Turkey Bay, in the British Virgin Islands for 2.8 MGD. And Port Portland, Trinidad for 6.7 MGD. So we have about 22 desalination plants now in 13 countries, and we'll commission 5 more in the remaining years.
So in Texas, that's the only one you have in Texas?
In Texas, Alice is the one that's running, and we have South Texas Water Authority in the Kingsville area that's in development
So Paraquita Bay and Point of Fort Trinidad and Saint Croix, where's that at? All those,
British Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands.
so we went to,
We
we,
didn't list the one in Kingsville because it's not PO
yeah,
yet.
I get it. So we went to go visit Alice, we don't go visit those other ones? or-
I'm sure Seventeen's will pay for all of
No, that's okay.
As soon as they let me go first, they haven't let me out of Texas.
I mean,
It's,
so that's the only one in Texas, right? I mean, back to the question, that's the only one in Texas.
yes.
How big
I
is
keep
it?
telling, remember what I told you about, we repeat the same design over and over again? I keep telling Casey, he just needs to go to Alice. It's the same.
How big is the one in Kingsville?
It's gonna be 3 MGDS, yes, but, we're working also with the City of Corpus Christi to offer more water to them, so that may expand. We'll see what,
Where's Kingsville getting the water right now?
from the City of Corpus Christi,
Oh,
so they're in the umbrella of water restrictions.
So,
Corpus Christi also has a desalination plant? No?
They are trying.
They're trying to get one.
Who's doing that?
so,
How
so,
about Brownsville? Brownsville
Yeah.
doesn't have a desalination plant.
Brownsville has one.
And who did that one?
It's a good question.
And it runs at 65% of capacity.
and I'll go Brownsville, Westlaco, McAllen, Rio Grande, all that area. Who does all that? I mean, are there? I'm sure they're in the process of wanting to find some alternative for water resources. I mean,
Well, who's doing those South Padre Island one? Over there.
The,
In-house or what?
what are they called again?
Laguna Madre.
Laguna Madre,
They're doing it in-house,
They're trying to.
they're trying to do in-house.
It's not working out.
Yeah, funding, it's like, you would expect, funding is one of the issues. Yeah. Everybody in Texas has to apply for the same social funding.
And you have people who, may have extensive engineering experience in Texas, but may not have desalination, experience. That's a little bit of a different skill set, so, they're learning how to do things along the way.
So, concluding remarks, we have a proven model for delivering a PPP project. We guarantee water quality and quantity, hence the $150,000 pump. We are gonna guarantee that you're gonna have that water, for your customers. 76 completed, successfully financed, design, build, operate and maintain, the project we engaged on. By joining the 76 family, I was benefits from extensive water treatment experience, and also what I was telling you before, that, network utility. You're not one isolated plant, you're not one city running the plant by yourself and kind of trying to do it the best you can. You are part of a community that can draw from the expertise from all of the other plants. And as MNCs will commit to support the local community, funding charities and educational efforts. Something that we are very proud in doing, we're doing in Alice and also doing it already in, Kingsville, is that we would like to invest also in the local community, with volunteering,
So-
events and charity efforts.
so besides Texas, any other states in the United States that you're all doing the same type of projects?
No, I mean, look, the Alice was the first PPP project in water treatment in the US.
Alice?
So, we don't see this model somewhere else. It's slightly different. So for example, in Florida, there's also a little bit co-financed private side. So for example, IE, was engaged in Tampa Bay. These are typically the larger plants, right? So like more than 50 MGD and above.
But for 7Cs, I mean, nowhere else in Texas, or just Alice?
Alice and Kingsville, correct.
That's it. In the United States, no other place,
Fast can you go?
other than,
Yeah, we have significant wastewater operations across Texas, but for the brackish desal, those are the ones I will tell you, recently some other states have actually been solicited specifically for P3s like this because of what they're seeing here.
And since this is fairly new in Texas, I mean, Alice, you think, well, it was signed in 2020, but this, until until we had Alice, we didn't have an example in Texas. And in Texas, you know Texans. Until they don't see something in Texas going, it's hard to believe. So now we have Alice running. Alice is our prime example. Everybody that's onto Alice and now it's running and it's providing 50–60% of the water for the whole city. Now when they finish the second well, we'll be providing 95% for the whole city. It's a prime example. It's running, the model is working, and it's alive and well in Alice, and that's exactly what we're showing other people in Texas. We had, just in the last month and a half, we had 3 cities going to Alice to visit the plant, and everywhere that goes, now we have something to show for. It was hard to develop the business at the beginning, honestly, because we didn't have an example. In Texas, you need to see to believe.
But there are desalination plants here in Texas.
They are, they're not P3s. They're
Okay.
not P3 projects. They're not.
Because there's 53.
Sorry?
There's 53 in the state of Texas.
They are, they're not P3
Yeah.
projects. They're not public-private partnerships. They're usually a mix. There's either just all public or all private, but they're partnerships.
So the uniqueness is just the funding.
The uniqueness is the funding and how fast.
See, that's why I said Brownsville, for example, right? Brownsville is a 10 MG rapid working facility built
2004.
2004. And this is exactly, so one of the bullet points that you see permanently coming up is you're becoming immediately part. It's a relatively small, because 10 MGD is a relatively small unit, right? 3 MGD is a small unit compared to the large, Singapore or Saudi Arabia, where you have 250 million gallons per day plants. Obviously, they have a totally different scale than what a 10 MGD plant is. Brownsville runs at 65% of capacity. So what you don't want to do, because then your price per 1,000 gallons goes through the roof, you want to use your whole installed base, and you just don't want to build for 10 MGD and then run it at 65. And the biggest issues are operation, because they don't have the pump on stock, because it makes no sense to have a $150,000 pump on stock. If you produce 60 million gallons a day, then it makes sense, right? Because we leverage across the facilities. So that's one of the biggest items. That's why, and we see that everywhere. I mean, I can tell you, in the Caribbean, right, in Antigua, for example, the average usage of the capacity is between 40 and 50%. It's their economics are just horrible, right? Because they build a 10 MGD plant and then run it at 5 because they miss parts. They just don't know how to deal with things and stuff. Like that's the biggest problem besides the money issue, but that's the biggest problem of these self-run facilities.
It's
I must apologize. I got another commitment, Mr. President. I'm gonna be leaving, so I must apologize.
I always give you this example. It's like building a pool, filling it up 3/4 of the way, and then inviting all your family over. That's kinda how those plants run. It's like they have to supply the water for everybody still, but they run their plant at 3/4 of the way capacity. It's badly
Well, I
run.
think that's more of the fault of, like funding throughout the state of Texas, and they're now realizing it and now starting to funnel more money to deal with this issue.
Okay, but
There's a study done by the team.
let me make a statement on the funding, right? Because I had a meeting with Texas Water Development Board, and this is new water supply, so there's a certain bucket for new water supply. Texas Water Development Board funds 10% of the projects that are requested. That's it. So,
Hence, that funding's an issue, and that's why these local utility districts can't, do something exploratory like this, because there's always something in the way
Yeah.
for them to successfully run it and actually have funding if their pump goes out, to have a surplus that says, I can fix that, or there's a warranty, or there's somebody that can fix this right away.
Yeah, and when they issue money, there's a lot of middlemen in between. So,
Money gets
out of
lost there.
$35 million, 20 million for the plant, 15 million for the rest.
Well, that's a great point too. I mean, what we saw in Alice was they had the guarantee of money, but by the time they got money in hand, the prices had gone up.
Right.
And they couldn't afford what they had. So yeah, this kind of fills that gap to be able to get moving on projects instead of waiting to see how much money and then reassess.
It's gonna be producing, and of course, you're gonna be making a little bit of revenue, but the service is already there.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Wait.
The other thing I was gonna mention, there was a study done in 2022 by the Texas Water Development Board. And the study, said that by 2050, the need of new monies for new infrastructure in Texas, new water infrastructure in Texas the need was $150 billion. Of which the state could fund $50 billion by 2050. Where's the other $100 billion gonna come from?
Consumers?
No,
I
because
know
the
that,
consumers is already a
I mean, they
state.
see now that those projects need to be funded. I mean, you see that with the different projects,
Yeah.
2036,
When you
different
say
things.
consumers, we are the consumers.
I know.
We're paying taxes. So
And people
Yeah.
are gonna pay for water, cause you know, you're either gonna drink it or you're gonna have
No,
to,
it's
you
federal
know.
and state monies
you
that
need
need
it.
to be,
So,
that we pay into.
You know,
so.
unfortunately, the customers are gonna be the one paying for that service in the long run, cause you know, nobody's gonna be without water.
Exactly.
But we see it even with construction
At the end of the
projects.
day, I mean,
Like
it's a
you see,
commodity and it's
if a McDonald's
something
wants
that's
to
a
go up,
necessity.
they're gonna have the funding like that. Those businesses, commercial businesses that already have the money, they never have problems like the mom and pops here that wanna start up their little business. They have to wait till all this funding comes up, and that's what the scenario that we're seeing.
I remember back in February this year, I was on one of your meetings, and this developer was here with 500 houses for permit, and he got put on hold. So I don't know if he has come back again or not, but now the idea would be going back to him and say, hey, now we can give you this permits to bring those 500 houses or more to the area.
Yeah, we just have to look at the different costs.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all. Do you have any questions? Thank you very much.
What would be like the cost of the overall project?
Our portion, y'all's portion, or the.
Like the total amount? Combining what our is to pay and then what you guys are gonna be, financing or whatever, you know.
I would guess overall, I mean, this is really a tough guess, right, because it really.
I mean, it's a ballpark figure. We're not gonna hold you accountable if it's cheaper.
Probably between $15 and $16 million.
And something else, it's not, think about this, it's not that the project's cost. Think about this as a plant being built, so those.
I mean, it's,
between 40 or 50 million, a good portion of that, maybe 30 million or so, are gonna be poured into the community again. It's not like it's gonna be floating in the air somewhere. There's
Oh, I
going
know.
to be a building that has to be built, a plant that has to be installed, wells that have to be drilled, and all of that so forth. So you can see this also as economic development investment into the community. Because that money is gonna pull back into the community. So there's gonna be intensive investment in the community as well.
Just as a comparison, and we're going back to Brownsville, because Brownsville wants to, or is thinking about increasing the capacity of the plant by another 10 MGD. And the estimates, and again, this is all public information, right, the estimates for 10 MGD was $220 million. And that was for 10 years ago, 3 years ago, I think. So it's a water treatment and infrastructure is expensive. Just is. It's a lot of money.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to item number 3, minutes. A, approval of minutes for the October 6, 2025 AGUA board meeting.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. De Hoyos, a second by Mr. Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We're gonna skip that.
Approves.
Skip that.
We're skipping, number 5, I believe.
I can do 5A if you'd like, the October financials.
Okay, we'll do, 5A, October financials.
Yes, Board, these financial statements were prepared as of October 31st, 2025. If you could turn your attention to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in a position, here you'll see that October is 83% of the year. Our total operating revenues were at 83% of our budget, so right on target, and our total operating expenses were at 88%. I don't know if there's any questions.
None for me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, on the bank and merchant services, those are
Yes.
gonna end up equaling or coming together, right? Or equaling?
We are, the AGUA was consuming, absorbing the cost of merchant services, and it was not passing to customer. So in a simple words, the only in-person customer here paying the credit card transaction fee, but the online customer was not paying it. Now they're gonna get implemented a charge, so it's gonna not just consume that cost, but AGUA gonna have surplus starting next year. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to item number 6, District Engineers Report. A, SH 495 Veterans Boulevard, Utility Location and Adjustment Project.
We're going to see 6.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I was here maybe like 8 years ago presenting back in the day. I'm back now, I'm gonna substitute Chris. You already know Sam, and this is Daniela, and she's gonna give us the update for this meeting. Starting with Veterans Boulevard.
So, for veterans, we have received comments and we submitted the list of vehicles to Chesta. And, we're also, well, based on a meeting with Pam and Robert, I was always working with some folks to demolish the existing lift station. And we're still pending on those, so we can find when, the cost estimate and all the rest.
That's on Veterans Bureau?
Yes, veterans.
Did the electrical company move their poles, or what's the holdup? Still's gonna be
Still.
The whole TxDOT, widening project is
For the-
the acquisition.
Yep,
oh, they're still on
it's still
hold,
with
so-
that
Yeah, they're still
AEP.
working on the acquisition and letting the project, so, I mean, we've been delayed, but it's not a hurry because, ours of the plants is not ready for construction until the project is. Well, it's still the acquisition from TxDOT sent on us,
Okay.
is what we understand.
Condemnation, they're gonna be going to condemnation or not?
Maybe on a couple of properties, but I'm not.
I think it's the only one
I
is
think it was
left is
only one just in
AEP.
front of the,
Yeah. So that's the last pending item, but once that is done, our stuff is gonna get done and get put into their server.
okay,
All right.
thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Then we go to
Item number 6B.
short-term water plant and CIP upgrade. KFIX is currently working on calculations for the CIP amendment, and the current also goal is to be completed by February 2026.
Can I say a comment, I guess, earlier about the funding and everything else? I mean, I think that this CIP project and what we're doing right now has to play a lot into what we can or can't afford, basically. So-
Sure.
So what we use for rates and what we use for impact fees, like we said earlier, I mean, there's no help from the state for us to build a plant.
Thank you.
And we do have the next, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Do you typically go in depth or overview of the services and amenities?
Kind of just go through.
Yeah,
Just
we
an
kinda just go
overview.
through 'em.
Yeah.
Overview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to the City of Palmview for the costs related to water services for Goodwin, number 1, Lot 3, Block 4.
So this is approximately 10-acre tract land located at the southern intersection of Goodwin and Marla Drive within the city of Palmview. The Palmview Fire Station and parks in a two separate tracts. The water service by AGUA and sanitary sewer service by AGUA only has 6.1 AUVs, and the water model was signed in with no need of offset.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Pettis,
Second.
second by Dr. Villarreal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Las Dianas Land Development LLC for the costs related to water services for Eduardo subdivision number 28.
So this is an approximately 15-acre tract of land located along the east side of Iowa Avenue and approximately 450 feet north of Mile 6 in the city of ETJ. It's 25 residential lots. Water service is by Hauser and the sewer service is by Bensten. Water model was run and off-site improvements were required. 12-inch water line along Mile 6 road extension and a segment going north to Iowa Road. Interior stub would be an 8-inch water line, and it would be 25 LEDs.
Okay, need a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by, Ms. Ana Maria Perez. Second by Mr. Doyles. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, discussion and possible action on an amended non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Omar Martinez and Jennifer Lopez for the costs related to water services for Mesquite Crossing subdivision.
So this is an approximately 10.52 acres located along the west right-of-way of French Drive and west of Frontier Drive within the city of Palmview city limits. It is 2 residential lots. Water service is by AGUA and sewer service will be by septic tank. It will be 2 LUVs and the water model was run and passed with no need of offset improvements.
And they're going sewer, why? Is it out of the city? Or where, we can't?
It's rural, no
Rural?
tiene.
Yeah, it's-
No hay sur.
It's not?
Está bien.
Okay,
So move.
I have a motion by Mr.
Second.
Doyles, second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Home Depot USA Incorporated for the costs related to water services for Lot 5, St. Ives, Peñitas subdivision.
This is an approximately 8.83 acre tract of land located on the northeast corner of Amberway and Liberty Boulevard within the city of Peñitas. It is one lot commercial development for Home Depot. The water service is by AGUA and the sewer service is by City of Peñitas. It is 23 LUVs and water model was run and passed with no need of offset improvements.
It's just 1 meter, one big meter. Of 6 inch or 8 inch?
Before you
How big is it?
I don't have the data, but
about that situation.
I can get that to you.
Have all the fees been paid and paperwork submitted? Because I have a note that it hadn't been submitted yet.
I think there was a conversation about that earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pam came out to.
it's, they're already in the process of it.
It's what?
They're already in the process of finishing the submission.
They said they would via email, they haven't signed the thing.
No. They already broke ground, so I don't think they're.
Everything else can wait.
Cart before the horse,
Yeah.
that's all right.
It's all right, I think they got people with pipes already. All right, need a
So
motion?
move. So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Doyles,
Second.
second by Ms. Ana Maria Perez. All All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, discussion and possible action on approval of resolution by AGUA Board of Directors adopting the 2026 operating and capital improvement budget. What's up with that one?
But we have the final budget in front of y'all.
Okay, that's what we
It's,
went over in the workshop?
Yes, it's the same items that we incorporated from comments in the budget workshop. It's all here.
All right,
Final.
I have a motion by Mr. Pettis,
So,
a
second.
second by Dr. Adela Villarreal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 12, discussion and possible action approving 2025 water rights petitions to HCID 6 and HCID 16 under Texas Water Code, Chapter 49, Subchapter O. Need a motion?
So move.
I have a motion by Dr. Villarreal,
Second.
a second by Mr. Doyles. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 13, discussion and possible action on approval of resolution by the AGUA Board of Directors regarding the readoption of the AGUA Sud investment policy as recommended by the Finance Director.
Yes, Board, the Public Funds Investment Act requires that the district revisit its investment policy at least annually. Our recommendation is to readopt with no changes, just as is.
Okay,
So move.
I have a
Second.
motion by Dr. Villarreal,
Second.
second by Ana Maria Perez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 14, discussion and possible action on approval of a resolution to amend the AGUA Sud Employee Policy Handbook, changing district holidays. On that one, I believe Robert's gonna have something prepared, but since he's not here,
Yeah, I don't have.
can we,
handout.
Table it?
table it?
For
You
next
can
time.
table it.
All right.
The only issue was there was discussion about changing the January meeting, and the proposed date that we discussed was a holiday for the county and post office. That doesn't exclude us from having a meeting on that day,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, we're gonna be open
that might be
for,
an impact if other people's work is
Yeah, I know.
impacted.
Yeah, let's,
Well, it's
because
more
table
for,
it, let's see Mr.
yeah.
Let's,
well, the meeting
the
date,
four-
yeah, the meeting date has to
The,
be.
yeah, the
set
14th
today.
we can table, 15th we
Oh.
can talk about,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I need a motion for, to table item 14.
I move to table item 14.
I have a motion by Ana Maria Perez, second by Mr. Rick Perez. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? That item is tabled.
And
Item
so-
15, discussion and possible action on the change date for the January 26th board meeting.
So it would be,
I think we were looking at the 19th, but that's MLK
MLK.
Day, but, I mean, we're gonna be open, so.
yeah. They're gonna be open? They don't
Yeah.
have it off?
Yeah, no, they're out, they're working,
Y'all are working?
yeah.
Now they are.
So,
Because of the different, the
Yeah,
they
they're
changed
just
it,
different.
I
right?
think the only
Yes.
person that may not be working is Mr.
Mr.
Director
Pettis?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all right, it's in the All right, so I need a motion to move it to the 19th, I believe.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Ana Maria Perez, a second by Mr. Doyles. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is set for January 19th. I need a motion to go into item 16, executive session, as provided by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071-551.091. The Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on proper motion or approval of any item set forth above under the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. A, cause number C-3353-20-I, SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA Special Utility District in the District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 398th Judicial District. B, cause number CL-235111, Rogelio F. Lopez versus AGUA Special Utility District in the County Court of Law 10 of Hidalgo County, Texas. C, Performance Service Incorporated Litigation. D, System Capacity. I need a motion to go into executive.
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Doyles, second by Dr. Villarreal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is 7:32. We are now in executive.